Hi, and welcome to Endometriosis Voices once again, listening to lived experiences, learning from science. In our previous episode, we went through the journey of endometriosis diagnosis, and oh, did we have our hands full. In today's episode, we are going to take just the time the first sign of endometriosis emerges or experienced to when the first visit to the GP's office is initiated. This can be the single most important decision any endometriosis sufferer can make. Imagine that the time it takes to manage the symptoms of endometriosis is static, let's say 4 years. If it takes you another 4 years from the first sign of endometriosis or endometriosis-like symptoms to report to the GP's office, then that is going to be on top of the original 4 years that we have fixed for management of endometriosis symptoms before it is finally diagnosed. And that gives you 8 years of pain, suffering, isolation, and confusion before you finally get to even understand what is happening to you in the first place. The first point that I want us to consider is the lack of extensive research and education in endometriosis. Let me give you a classical example. Australia is widely considered as the leading country in per capita investment for endometriosis research output. In fact, in 2018, there was a National Action Plan for Endometriosis that was inaugurated. As part of this National Action Plan, $127 million was dedicated to endometriosis research. In addition to that, about $53 million has also been dedicated to establishing endometriosis-specific clinics and the training of endometriosis-specific nurses to care for endometriosis sufferers. On top of that, in May 2025, philanthropic donation from the Ainsworth family of a whopping $50 million towards research and innovation in endometriosis. Finally, Australia also has one of the most effective and efficient patient advocacy groups. When it comes to the education and the curriculum, there are no compulsory endometriosis education courses in the Australia curriculum. Let's take Queensland, for instance, which is where I am based now. Consent, initiating friendship, sexually transmitted infections, safe sex, these topics are heavily treated in the curriculum, and there are specific allocations to them. When it comes to endometriosis, however, these have been relegated to the discretion of the institute in a program that is called Pep Talk. And because it is optional, most schools don't actually have any such programs for them. And in cases where these programs are organized, you are likely not to have the men or the young men attend. You have no idea how resourceful a male who has knowledge about the pain and suffering that it imposes on its victims are until you are a sufferer and you have such male as a partner, a brother, and or a friend at hand. So in my opinion, I think endometriosis education should be a credited course that will serve as an incentive to have every other person get the knowledge that is deserved. If we are able to incorporate endometriosis as a compulsory course in a curriculum and have individuals get to know about it and learn about it earlier on, then they are more likely to accept and help women who are suffering from endometriosis when they talk about them because they are familiar with it. Another important thing that can emerge from that backbench is that people can develop interest in endometriosis research or as expert clinicians, further increasing the pool of expertise to help individuals who are suffering from endometriosis. It is also my personal conviction that having the right knowledge and information about the condition that you are suffering from gives you the opportunity to be able to ask the right questions at the GP's office and suggest some referrals you think may help rule out or diagnose endometriosis if it exists. A second contributing factor to why endometriosis education is limited is that there are fewer experts everywhere in the world who really understand even the science that is available. And endometriosis symptoms is also vastly different and can be extremely patient-specific. This is one of the reasons why this channel is established. In the coming months, as the channel grows, we are going to have live Q&As and patient testimonies. The idea is that there are some unique signs that are not common and so are hardly mentioned in literature and even in the clinics. If anyone has an experience of that and shares it, then other individuals who do not know about this can keep an eye out so that as soon as they emerge, they can visit the GP and then they know what kind of conversation to have. Why do I think this kind of discussion should be had with you? I think patient advocacy groups, at least from what I have learned from those in Australia, are the most powerful for policy change and policy initiations in anywhere else where there's a particular disease or condition. And so if you are patient advocacy group in your country, in your region, or wherever you are, and you go to the policymakers and decision makers in the way education curriculum is written, and you're going to propose credit incentive courses on endometriosis into the curriculum, if you have a clear plan as to why you think it is necessary and possibly have a draft, it would serve as a benchmark as to how serious you are with the kind of proposal that you are suggesting. In part 2 of our series, we are going to discuss how symptoms normalization delays the initiation of the first visit to a GP's office after the symptoms of endometriosis has emerged. But in the meantime, do you think incorporating endometriosis education into the curriculum or adding it to the early learning can have any long-term benefit for endometriosis, especially for improving support for endometriosis sufferers? Let us know in the comment section. If you find this page and its content resourceful, send it to your network and other people you think may benefit from the content that we produce over here. Endometriosis Voices, listening to lived experiences, learning from science.